our in segment. We got just a rundown of what's going to happen on NXT and TNA this week. This day in wrestling history. We're going to do our fantasy poll that we released a couple weeks ago with Goldberg, and we're going to set up another one. That will be in segment 2. So, there's two ways to listen. One way to listen, go to TuneIn on Google Play, Apple, search TuneIn, download it, Score on Air, we're there. You got YouTube, search Score on Air. We're there, streaming live as I say it. So, like we do every week, every day, every show, we're going to pass it over to my man Aaron with the news.
All right, well, not too many things went down over the weekend, but we do have a couple of notes here for all the WWE fans, which I assume is the majority of our listeners, but WWE Fastlane has been announced March the 5th, 2017 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the Bradley Center. However, there was no indication of which brand will be represented. This show will serve as WWE's final pay-per-view before WrestleMania 33, and it is in fact going to be the first ever non-WrestleMania pay-per-view in WWE history to be held in the month of March. The tickets go on sale for that event on December the 9th, but more information on Fastlane as we get it. Seems kind of strange for them to just drop this into the middle of the pay-per-view lineup in that way, but there you have it. Becky Lynch and Kalisto both made returns from injury at a SmackDown Live event in Sioux Falls, Iowa on Saturday. Kalisto had been suffering from a back injury, whereas Lynch was out of action and, in fact, briefly hospitalized for an undisclosed condition that was apparently unrelated to her wrestling activity. It was also announced that Finn Balor will be filling in for, as we we get AO's attention anytime we mention Finn Balor. But Finn Balor will be taking Mick Foley's place in a booking that he made before he was actually named a WWE commissioner, but he was scheduled to appear for Insane Championship Wrestling in Glasgow, Scotland on November 20th, which happens to be the same night as WWE Survivor Series in Toronto. However, WWE has come to an agreement to allow Finn Balor to appear in his place, so that should be very interesting for him, and it's good to hear that his recovery is proceeding to the point where, even though it's a wrestling appearance, that he's getting back out there, and I'm sure the fans of his home country of Scotland will be quite interested in seeing him, or excuse me, he's Irish. Well, I'm getting off topic here. But that's a quick note about a couple people making some returns. I'm completely flustered here. I don't know what's going on.
It's after that Buckeye loss.
It's got to be. You're happy.
That's what it is in the building?
You've got your Penn State gear on over there and just rubbing it in. How do they blow a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter?
Tell them, Mayo.
Hey, it's Ohio State for you. It's Urban Meyer.
Well, at least they still have a chance to get back in that top 4 here. But moving on, one more WWE note. Following some tweets from Mick Foley that had been implying that Sasha Banks versus Charlotte with their upcoming Hell in a Cell match will, in fact, headline the pay-per-view, a similar post was made by WWE Chairman Vince McMahon that now declares that the match will be part of a triple main event. Curiously, McMahon's tweet was then deleted and subsequently reposted. So there is still quite a bit of flexibility in the lineup for this upcoming pay-per-view as to which match is going to be headlining. I think that all of this discussion is only going to backfire. That I think let the matches speak for themselves. If you're going to put the women's match on last, just do it. Don't make a big deal out of it. It's already going to be historic. It's already going to be a must-see match.
I think they're thinking maybe what we've all been thinking. Maybe if you put the women main event up, it takes away your glitz and glamour from your Universal title, which hasn't really got the full focus that it deserves for it being a new title.
For me, the more that I try to think about this, the more reasons I come up with that it doesn't matter either way. This is a world championship in the case of the women. Yes, tradition suggests that you should have your world heavyweight title go on last, and I would in this case. But my point now is that why are you making a story out of the fact that it's a story? Let's just decide where we're going and go there.
Slow media day. That's all it is, slow media day. They're looking for stuff to kind of get people rowdied up, to where they'll watch Raw tonight, or just keep an eye on maybe a way to bring up subscriptions to the WWE Network. Because if people think the women's main event's the main event, you might get people willing to sign up for the free month. They're not going to probably keep it past the free month, but they'll at least do the free month.
I just don't think there's a question of people turning the show off after this match should it go on third from the top.
No, I would put it like right in the middle. Have your Roman and Rusev, right? Then have Becky, then have Sasha and Charlotte, then have your Universal. Because I feel like after tonight, once we get through the Raw breakdown, that I think the Universal titles would fit better in that main event. Not saying that the women can't do it, but I just feel the Universal title hasn't really, with Finn Balor losing it, it hasn't got its oomph yet.
We're definitely going to see a lot of things develop tonight in that storyline. I imagine this will be a case of what we would have seen had they proceeded with this being the main event, as we have talked about being the plan at a certain point. Talking about the three-way interaction between Rollins, Owens, and Jericho that is set for tonight. But yeah, I would, if I were the women in this match, I wouldn't have any problem with having to go on before one of these other big matches so they have an opportunity to set the bar and say, okay, now we went out and did that, now you go follow it.
It's kind of like we know Roman and Rusev, people are going to be excited, but they ain't. And not unless you do a complete Roman heel turn at the pay-per-view. Then you might get more fans cheering if he turns heel than boos.
I think they're finally getting to a point where people are comfortable with his position, even though he's still getting a really negative reaction from the live crowds. I think he fits in a lot better in a U.S. champion role, still as a main event, but not the champion, not the guy, for lack of a better term. I'm sure if Mark were here to tell me the error of my ways, we would be hearing it from him. But yeah, I think that they're still building towards something with Roman Reigns for WrestleMania, and that we won't see any drastic changes in that course until then.
No, because the rumors that I'm hearing are going to be Goldberg and him at WrestleMania.
It's hard to say.
Because I don't think Goldberg's coming back just for one more match.
Naturally, that's been the line of thinking from a lot of fans, and that it's somewhat unnecessary for you to try to imply that this match with Lesnar is going to be his last one, because people know if it is successful that he will stick around. Larry, we've got Larry, our intern, here for the first hour of the show. What's your opinion of the Goldberg comeback?
Well, the first match I ever watched actually was with Goldberg and Chris Jericho in a steel cage, so I'm really excited about him coming back. And I don't have very high hopes for him versus Lesnar, like the actual just match in itself. But I'm pleased with him coming back. I liked his promo. I think that's the most I've ever heard him talk at one time, actually.
Yeah, I would say it was one of his most effective appearances in that situation, where it was asked of him to come out and cut this big main event promo to sell the match. Fans who know him from WCW, like myself, probably had a sense of deja vu. It felt a lot like when the Warrior came back to WCW, that here's a guy that's coming back, but once you've seen him come back, now it's a question of now what? And so we'll see where they go with it tonight. Brock and Heyman are supposed to be on Raw to answer the challenge, so I definitely can't wait for that.
With Mean Mark not here right now, I'm going to pull a quote from a guy that I like, but I just don't like the storyline they're putting him in. Dean Ambrose. I'm going to pull one from old Mr. Insanity himself.
Oh, boy.
I never thought I was a bad person. I just thought I was the one good person living in a world of bad people. So on that note, that is our quote of the week. When we come back, we're going to talk the fantasy poll. And me and Aaron's going to talk some WWE 2K17s now that he's dived in. We'll be back after this short break. ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio.
Football is back, and the Score has you covered.
Are you ready for some football?
The new generation of sports talk radio breaks down every game.
Are you ready for some football?
Only on ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Hundreds of college stations across the country will unite to celebrate the unique medium of college radio.
This is Derek Ginter, General Manager of KTXT-FM at Texas Tech University. It's been said that you don't know what you've got until it's gone, and that was certainly the case here when we lost KTXT in late 2008. Students here quickly discovered that college radio provides opportunities that are quite different from social media. Opportunities like building self-confidence, developing leadership skills, and literally finding one's voice and learning how to use it. KTXT returned as a student radio station in 2011, and we've been wildly celebrating College Radio Day ever since. College Radio Day is an opportunity for student radio stations across the country to invite other students and members of the communities they serve to participate and see firsthand why college radio matters and is more relevant now than ever.
For more information, please visit collegeradioday.com.
Small village in Romania. After the 8th grade, students desiring to attend high school must pay their own way for transportation. From the village of Mochu to Cluj to Apahita, it costs $350 American per year per child for the bus ride of over 1 hour each way. With your help, 8 Roma children will be able to accomplish something their parents and grandparents could not do. Most of their parents have not received an elementary education. This year, 3 boys and 5 girls can have that chance to attend high school. Will you help? Please make a donation of whatever you can to help these 8 children get their high school education. Make your donations payable to Worthington Presbyterian Church, 773 North High Street, Worthington, Ohio, 43085, and add on the memo line bus transportation. Your donation will make a dream become a reality.
Are you someone who has always dreamed of a career in sports media? The Ohio Media School now offers a 6-month sports emphasis program to prepare you for a whole new career. Whether it's radio or television, play-by-play or production, the Ohio Media School has you covered. You will receive training from professionals that are actually in the industry. The Ohio Media School will get you where you need to be for a successful career in this exciting, expanding field. To schedule a visit, call 614-655-5250 or go to beonair.com. Stop dreaming about a career in sports and make it a reality at the Ohio Media School.
We know that Columbus, Ohio was discovered back in 1812. We know it's the 15th largest city in the country. Did you know that Columbus has grown to be one of the most exciting cities in the United States? Experience theater, sports, music, family fun, and more. It's time for you to experience Columbus. Take the family to a theater show at the Garden Theater or the Columbus Performing Arts Center. Show team spirit at a Crew soccer game, Blue Jackets hockey game, or cheer on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Want to see some live music? Head downtown to see a live music show at the Columbus Commons. You could also see your favorite performers at the LC Pavilion or the Newport. Don't get me started on the places to eat. Impress your date and grab a meal at the high-class restaurant in the Short North. Play, stay, dine, and explore all right here in the capital city. For more details, log on to ExperienceColumbus.com. Turn your experience into a lifelong memory.
Come out and join us at Flavor 91 for their grand opening. Flavor 91 is located at 5186 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio. Flavor 91 is a burger bistro and offers such beverages as beer and wine. Again, the grand opening is September 15, 2016 at 1 p.m. 5186 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio. Join us at Flavor 91.
Get the sports you want, when you want. Broadcasting all day and night. You're home for the latest sports news and updates. You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com.
And we're back with Heel and Face. Going into break, I was talking about our Twitter poll that we put out. I believe it was the Monday Night Raw that Goldberg debuted. Yeah, right before he came back, we did a Twitter poll on who we'd want him to see if he did have a second match. Well, I got the results, and it looks like, well, wrong Twitter page. Hold on, I'll get it real quick. It looks like the winner was Kevin Owens, 60-40.
Wow,
Nobody
wow.
voted for Big E, so the power positivity was not so positive.
We got to get more votes on this. All you people out there that are listening, we really want you to interact with us. We'll do more of these polls if you're responding to them, if you want us to do something else. Now that we've got 2K17, we can actually simulate these matches and report on our recreations or
I'll never know. Maybe we'll Twitch one of them out on the
that
show
would be
page.
something.
Play it live. But Kevin Owens would be the one that booked 60-40. This one we had quite a bit of votes on. But Big E is like Goldberg. I think by using Jericho and Owens, you got your heel.
Well, I think those, in the fans' eyes, if those matches were presented to the audience as something on the show, wrestling Big E would be a foregone conclusion. You know,
Yeah.
for people who know the history of Goldberg and Jericho going all the way back to their WCW runs, that's just something that's just fascinating anyway and would be fun. And it is still a missed opportunity. It's still one of those things that it's one of those what ifs from those days of WCW that where they could have capitalized on something and didn't. And there's reasons for it on both sides. That's not worth getting into here at the moment, but I think that the Goldberg-Kevin Owens matchup is just so intriguing stylistically.
Yeah.
You know, like you just like if we were doing this on a video game, that would be the most fun match to
But
play
the bad
on a
part
game.
is if we did it on WWE 2K, it would probably be Goldberg that won because Goldberg's overall is so high in the game.
Yes, I just got the game last night. If we're going to talk about 2K a little bit here, I just finally got it last night. I had to do another PWA event. There was a party that a very special event for one of their huge fans that we surprised this young lady with. But once I got back from that, I checked out the game, and my first match was a three-way match. I just went straight to the universe mode as a three-way with Balor, Owens, and Sami Zayn, and we got 4 stars, but I got pinned by Sami Zayn, so I was Owens.
On normal difficulty?
Yes.
It's rough even on normal.
Well, it was hard for me to get used to the new counters, because I didn't even look at the manual or anything. It took like an hour and a half to download the gigantic
the
update.
updates.
Yeah, I was watching that Seahawks-Cardinals game last night that would never end.
Miserable game.
Yeah, how do these kickers miss these field goals like that?
Kickers just need to quit.
Well, there's always somebody out there. They're the most easily replaceable members of a
That's
NFL
true, them and
roster.
punters. But last night I did dip into 2K myself. I downloaded TJ Perkins.
Oh, cool.
I downloaded the Cruiserweight title.
I was going to buy one of the ECW titles. Did you get the booster pack thing or extra credits because you got the pre-order?
I got the NXT booster pack.
Okay.
But it only works in your career mode if you start on NXT.
Yeah.
But I didn't start in NXT. I started on the main roster because I beat Samoa Joe.
Yeah, I just browsed a little bit in the creation mode. I haven't even got 2 hours into it yet. So first impressions are the presentation is amazing. The controls seem a little stiff. I'm sure I'll get more comfortable with them as I play more. I like the characters that are available out of the box already, so it's got a great roster.
And those that didn't pre-order, they want Goldberg, go to the market. You can download it for free. Somebody's already created Goldberg.
Oh, I'm sure that all of the elements to make Goldberg from the creation mode, a template for it are,
Then they have new costumes, like they have AJ Styles from No Mercy. They already have Anderson and Gallows, somebody created, which is part of, I believe, DLC Pack 1 when it comes out. Anderson and Gallows is part of that package. Then if you got the NXT edition, you got Nia Jax, Apollo Crews, and Shinsuke Nakamura, day 1.
There we go.
Which I think they're going to be made available in a later DLC, but for those that didn't want to wait and you lost out on the NXT edition.
So, Larry, have you checked out the 2K17 yet?
I've played it. I haven't personally got it, but I played it with my friends because I very rarely actually buy video games for whatever reason. I always just get way too bored with them. But I liked it first. Like, my first impression, I liked it. I played in his career mode for a while, and like you, I got beat by Sami Zayn, and that was it. I kind of got mad and stopped playing after that.
I thought that it was fairly easy, though, to do a variety of things to make the match interesting, that you weren't stuck doing the same moves over and over again, at least in the first couple of matches that I played. One was a triple threat, the other was a tag, so I don't even remember who all was in that. But I've enjoyed it thus far. I can't wait to get into it later, but maybe that's some way that we can add more interactivity to these Twitter polls and these some of these other elements that we have on the show. Is we'll just pull out the 2K17 and
definitely it's the weapons I don't like already. Because I remember when you could use a chair, grab someone, and DDT him on the chair. Now they're not doing the grab move, where you can grab him and DDT him on a chair.
I know they made a lot of adjustments to that in the way that you interact with the ladders and things. And on the other side, I've heard a lot of negative comments about how the collision detection is a little wonky and that sometimes that these things don't work as well as they should. And I've seen all sorts of hilarious videos of like I saw one where with Asuka where she takes the mask off and there's another mask still on underneath it, and
it's the little bugs are working through.
Those will all be patched as it goes along, I'm fairly certain.
And the rumor is one of the DLCs might be like a showcase mode, like with the Freebirds and the Von Erichs.
That would be fascinating.
They're hinting at it because a lot of people were upset that the showcase mode is not in the game.
If I can use Terry Gordy in 2K17, then all bets are off because I will be romping, stomping graveyard destruction on some of these people, man. I mean, Terry Gordy, that'd be tremendous.
But the only bad part is it's something, all this stuff is DLC. My problem with, I know we're getting out of, it's still video game talk, WWE. You guys released this game and you knew what the DLC was going to be before it's even released.
Well, that's a marketing strategy these days with not just WWE games, but sports games are lend themselves to that strategy more easily than certain others. But it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a shooter, it could be an action-adventure game, and there's constantly all of these in-app, in-game purchases and bonus content and everything. It's just a part. It took me a long time to feel like I wasn't missing out by not buying these things, because all the Street Fighter games, all the fighting games, anything related to Marvel superheroes, that's part and parcel with purchasing any of these games. So I'm very selective in my investments in this.
With Street Fighter, don't waste your time on Street Fighter.
I've already been down that road, and I paid $60 and waited a year and a half for half a game,
right.
And I still got only 75% of a game.
But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't play WWE as much as this weekend as I should have. I was playing Call of Duty. They had the Infinity Warfare on beta all weekend.
Yeah. I was playing that.
So I dipped into that a little bit. Maybe we'll save that for another show. Maybe we'll set up a segment, even though we're doing wrestling, just to talk video games.
I don't know. We've certainly got
especially
all sorts
on
of
Mondays.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about on this show. I mean, we do have a pretty action-packed Raw that they're setting up as they are trying to get things put together for Hell in a Cell. They've got, as we talked about, they've got a great top 3 matches set up.
Before we get into that, who would win the Kevin Owens-Brock Lesnar match?
You mean Goldberg?
I mean, yeah, that's what I meant. If you were to book this match, who would win?
I think Kevin Owens would make Goldberg look great. I think as workers, not to say that he would carry him, but Kevin Owens style, it would look really cool to watch Goldberg beat the crap out of him for about 10-15 minutes and give him a spear and a jackhammer.
If I would bill it, I would bill Owens to win by like somebody helping him.
You could always do that. Goldberg wouldn't lose any heat that way,
and Kevin Owens would pick up tons of heat off of it if he cheated to beat Goldberg.
I mean, if you're booking it in a program, then that's different. But if you're booking it as just a special match, just an exhibition, for lack of a better term,
Yeah, it would be interesting to see. But we never know what's going to happen. But we got to tell Ann something. Hey, yo. Yeah. We got a special guest coming in Friday.
Oh, my. I completely forgot about this.
Special guest?
Yeah. Vince is coming in.
Vince?
Vince is going to come in on Friday.
No way.
Way. Totally.
Okay. I'll be...
Party on Wayne, party on Garth.
Me and Aaron talked to him a little bit Saturday and got him to come in.
Yes.
No, just a little programming note here. We had expected to have the reigning PWA champion Chris Cruitt, since he retained his title on Saturday, be on the show, but apparently he is unable to make it. So we will celebrate. Quite possibly. I know they went out to the bar after the show.
Did he win?
He lost by DQ.
Yeah.
Payne technically won.
No, you're talking about Vince, right?
Well,
well,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Either way, it was a great event, which we're going to talk about when we get into the top of hour 2.
But yes, we will have one Mace Young, as he is known professionally,
Mace Young.
on the show Friday. But
Go Mace.
we're going to come back and talk about some Raw.
Yeah, definitely. We got the triple threat match we're going to talk about. Sheamus and Cesaro versus The New Day. Bayley and Dana Brooke, what's next for these two? Then you got the return of the Beast himself. If you were the boss of WWE, how would you build this? How would you set this up? So on that note, we'll be back after this short break. You're listening to Hill and Face, ScoreOnAir.com.
Football is back, and the Score has you covered. Are you ready for some football? The new generation of sports talk radio breaks down every game, every week.
Are you ready for some football?
Only on ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Hey guys, Matty Ice here, proud alum of the Ohio Media School. Get the training you need to get a job you will love. The Ohio Media School has classes in radio, television, sports broadcasting, and film and video production. Visit BeOnAir.com today to get started. That's BeOnAir.com.
NWA Midwest Championship Wrestling is looking for interns. Have you heard of Ric Flair? Well, this is the company that brought you Ric Flair before he went to the WWE, and we're looking for interns to work behind the scenes hand in hand with production, with audio, with video, and with podcasts and radio. Contact Damon Dury, the big dog, at 740-971-3968.
Nasty's Sports Bar in Reynoldsburg is under new management. Located at 6150 East Main Street, the home for Taco Tuesday is rejuvenated and the home for great food and family fun. Nasty's Sports Bar is a great place for happy hour, serving $2 domestics, $3 glasses of wine, and $5 appetizers, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 614-864-2827 to find out the daily specials. Nasty's. Great food, family fun, with a cool name.
Hey guys, Scott Shelton here again, campus director for the Ohio Media School. Are you looking for a career in media, radio, television, sports broadcasting, or film and video production? You need to come check out the Ohio Media School's Columbus campus. You want a job that you will love, and we have the training to get you started. Stop by the Ohio Media School's audio and video studios to check out the opportunities and internships that we have for our students and graduates. Call 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com. That's beonair.com.
The new generation of sports talk radio. Here's your ScoreOnAir.com Score Center update.
This is Greg Brantmeyer with your Score Center update. It was anything but happy in Happy Valley on Saturday as the Penn State Nittany Lions took down the second-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes by the score of 24-21. The big play of the game came with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left in the fourth quarter when Penn State's Grant Haley returned a blocked field goal 60 yards for the touchdown. The play gave the Nittany Lions the first lead of the game and one that they would not give up. The loss dropped the Buckeyes from number 2 to number 6 in the AP poll and catapulted Penn State from unranked number 24. The Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Cleveland Browns 31-17 on Sunday. A.J. Green had a highlight reel game with 8 catches and 169 yards and a touchdown, but the story many people are talking about is yet another quarterback is taking snaps for the Cleveland Browns. Rookie Cody Kessler went down in the second quarter for a concussion evaluation and was ruled out, opening the door for rookie Kevin Hogan. Hogan is the Browns' 6th quarterback to take an offensive snap in 7 games, a streak the Browns are hoping will not continue. The World Series matchup is now set after the Chicago Cubs defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers on Saturday. The Cubs will face the Cleveland Indians in Game 1 of the World Series Tuesday night. After an 0-2 start, the Columbus Blue Jackets won both of their weekend games to pull themselves back to 500. They play the Kings Tuesday night in Los Angeles. For all your news, scores, and updates, keep it locked right here on ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio. The Score.
Broadcasting from the Score On Air studios at the Ohio Media School in Columbus, Ohio. Your home for all the latest sports news and talk. ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
And we're back. We're going to talk some Monday Night Raw. Usually we use the Raw segment music, but you know what? It's the return of the Beast. I feel like it's fitting to play Brock Lesnar at this point. Big stuff happening. It was just announced today that Enzo and Cass will go against the club at Hell in the Cell. We don't know if it's going to be a special match or just regular. I'm going with it would be just a regular match. I would like to see these two go at it and no holds barred.
I think that they could definitely do like a tornado rules or no DQ or something where all 4 guys can mix it up at the same time. The thing about Big Cass and Enzo is that part of what makes the crowd like them so much is the way that they are such never say die kind of baby faces, and so naturally I'd think that they would do a situation where you're going to have this big hot tag where Enzo survives and makes a tag to Cass and he has the big comeback. We'll see how it plays out.
Cass has to save the match, basically.
Yeah, I would personally, I would love to see them do something to start rebuilding the image of the club, because it's gone from where it was
the most dominant team at one point to where
they're just guys now. I mean, they might as well be the Ascension or the Vaudevillains at this point.
Vince has that.
Man, not that bad.
Yeah, Vince has this notion if they're not homegrown, he doesn't.
Maybe
really
he forgets
push them
that
as
Luke
much.
Gallows was Festus, and in CM Punk's faction for a couple of years.
I think everybody wants to forget Luke Gallows was Festus.
But
go ahead.
No, they've known about Carl Anderson for years. He came out of Cincinnati. He came out of the Heartland Association down there with Les Thatcher, if I can say that.
Same place where Dean Ambrose came from at one point.
Right. He's from that area too. And
He from Cincinnati?
yeah.
Wow.
So I don't see why they don't see the potential in these guys.
Heartland, I believe, is WWE's one of their developmental.
At one point, it was. I assume they still have some sort of association, but it's a school and a promotion run by Les Thatcher. And yeah, at one point they were heavily connected as a developmental program before the days of the Performance Center and such.
But yeah, it's looking like Enzo and Cass, they're going to probably lose this. Enzo and Cass can lose every match,
Yeah.
but the fans will still love them.
Yeah, they don't lose nothing really.
Yeah, they're definitely over.
But the club, like you said, Aaron, needs to get this win. Even if it's by DQ or they lose by DQ, they need to do something to show the brutality of who they are.
Or maybe they do that. Maybe the club get disqualified, but they beat Enzo and Cass down so bad, they show that they still is the club. You know.
Beat Enzo down bad enough to
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
he's not able to wrestle for a couple weeks.
But think how much more valuable Enzo and Cass would be and can be if they had serious dominant teams like you had a chance to do with the Dudley Boys and with the club here with Gallows and Anderson, making them legitimate threats to people, and big tough guys that these little guys have to overcome. If they're just like everybody else, then it doesn't mean much for Enzo and Cass to.
They got mixed up in the shuffle with the draft. I think personally, because everybody's focused on New Day, Sheamus, Cesaro, they got mixed up with the Shining Stars. They got mixed up in the mid-card tag teams.
Well, there was no plan for the WWE tag team division on the Raw side in the way that there seems to have been, at least in the beginning, on the SmackDown side.
That's true. So, what's next for Bayley and Dana? We know that Bayley left with a messed up shoulder.
Well, the finish to that match was a little bit messed up too. It seemed from the looks of things it was supposed to end with Dana Brooke getting her feet on the ropes to win with, leverage, to cheat to win, and she didn't quite make it. They just weren't in position, so they really switched focus to selling Bayley's injury as more serious, and I think that in a way that works better for the storyline going forward, that Bayley, much like Enzo, is just such a natural just baby face in this comeback role of having to overcome the big scary mean Dana Brooke. So
yeah, she'll come back probably about Hell in a Cell. If not,
I think you put her on the show tonight. I wouldn't
maybe
have her
just
in a
promo
match
segment.
Yeah, I wouldn't have her in a match, but
then Dana Brooke come out. They start jabbing at each other. Mick Foley makes it an official match, maybe on the pre-show. Bayley and Dana
that would be
Brooke.
a great spot for him.
That would be nice.
You're not taking away because you don't put Enzo and Cass in the club on the pre-show.
Bayley deserves to be on the main show just because of how over she is.
But Dana Brooke,
yeah, but not against Dana Brooke. Yeah.
Yeah, if it was against like maybe Bayley versus a Nia Jax again. Then I'd see main card maybe opening the show. But other than that,
I can see Bailey blowing up from, like you said, from that injury, playing that injury. You know, they're going to make a little tape. Her going through her little spiel. I'm coming back better than ever. And
if you've ever watched
NXT,
NXT, she can play injuries real well. Look at that match where she faked she blew her knee.
Oh, yeah.
She can play it well.
Oh, that was my point, is that she just has such natural sympathy with the fans that you don't have to work very hard to get that reaction from them.
You want to hug her on an Uncle Creepy level.
Yeah.
All right, we have Sheamus and Cesaro versus The New Day, which is official. This match will happen tonight. Sorry, Mark.
Which is not fair at all. They have not earned that spot. They have not earned that spot.
I think Sheamus and Cesaro picks up the win, sets up Hell in a Cell.
Have they said that this is a non-title match?
It is a non-title matchup.
Well, then most definitely Sheamus and Cesaro have to go over.
Oh, yeah.
To show that tag team bonding moment.
Where do you sit on this, Larry?
I think Sheamus and Cesaro should go over. And like he said, I think it'll set up Hell in a Cell. I feel like a lot of people don't like the team. I love them for some reason. I want to see Cesaro do a swing and then Sheamus do a bro kick into it. I want to see that.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
That definitely seems like where they need to go, is that
But not against New Day.
they might not like each other, but they work well together as a team, and they start finding success that way. And yeah, cool, like double team moves like that. Those, as workers, those two guys could probably be very, very entertaining.
Am I the only one that feels like Sheamus and Cesaro was put together like the Mega Powers? Like Hogan and Macho Man? Doesn't it feel like that way? They don't like each other, but they have a greater enemy to team up for.
Jericho and Owens would dispute you claiming that Sheamus and Cesaro are in fact the new Mega Powers. Say if anybody, it's Jericho and Owens, and we might be seeing the Mega Powers explode sooner rather than later.
I think that happens tonight. Something's going to happen where Jericho's going to pick up this win in the triple threat between him and Rollins, which will set up, if Jericho does win, his argument can be, I should be in this main event at Hell in a Cell because I pinned your champion and your number one contender and beat them both in one match.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't deny it. I mean, wow. That's
and
impressive.
they still found a backdoor way to have Jericho in this match.
And Stephanie wants it, too. She wants the triple threat.
So it could go either way. What do you think, Aaron? How do you think this goes?
I don't think that they do anything drastic tonight, but they definitely show you where they're going. We're going to get further along in this. There's going to be more overt conflict between Jericho and Owens. But, of course, they could go the other way and have them work together perfectly this time and get the advantage over Seth Rollins leading into the pay-per-view coming up. I think that if they let them just go have a great match and let these guys use the talents that they have, they won't need to tell an elaborate story, that it will come together on its own.
It's kind of like a good stew.
Yeah, they don't need to overbook this.
So what do you think, Mark?
I agree with Aaron.
Wow.
I agree with you. I think it's right.
So we had the return of Brock Lesnar, since we're coming up to the end of the segment. If you're Paul Heyman, Vince McMahon, and agent, how do you book this? Aaron, we were talking about it on the break. How would you book this?
Well, for one thing, I have Brock come out. They're in Minneapolis, so Brock's going to get a very, very strong positive reaction. I would just say, what did Goldberg prove by coming out here last week? Who is this old man that is just happy to be here and hugging babies and stuff? He doesn't know what he's getting into. He won't be ready by Survivor Series to have a match with Brock Lesnar. He's been on the sidelines for 12 years. Forgetting and then suddenly remembering what it was like to be an athlete and to be a serious competitor. And Goldberg just, is inferior to Brock. It's going to be Paul's message.
What do you think?
I think Goldberg comes out. He surprises him, come out, steps in the ring with Brock. They do the eye-to-eye look, and then one of them backs down and climb out the ring. I think goes down like that.
Larry?
I think Brock Lesnar goes out and F5's the nearest small child he sees.
That would definitely get him heat. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Just the complete opposite direction of Goldberg.
That's if you want to increase the ratings, that's one way to start.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'd just have Goldberg sitting ringside, like tickets, just like Kevin Nash and Scott
Just
Hall
kind of
did.
taunting him like, here
Yeah.
I am, yeah.
But when we come back, we'll be talking SmackDown. We had a match announced for SmackDown already, 2 to be exact. So when we get back from break, we'll get into that. You're listening to Hill and Face, ScoreOnAir.com.
You're listening to the home of heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping sports. Broadcasting from Ohio Media School in the greatest city in the state, in the greatest state in the country.
In the greatest country in the world.
You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com.
College Radio Day 2016 is coming on Friday, November 4th.
The day when college radio comes together.
Hundreds of college stations across the country will unite to celebrate the unique medium of college radio.
It's a place where students can be creative and speak their own minds.
College radio is important to me because it's a place where I can express myself, where I never had so much creative freedom before.
It's a lot of fun working together with other students, working together to create some great radio.
So join us on November 4th as we ignite the soul of college radio and declare to the world that college radio is alive and kicking.
College Radio Day.
For more information, please visit collegeradio.org.
Thursdays from 4 to 6 p.m. It's the new generation of sports talk radio on The Score. Come tune in to Competitive Greatness, where we have the entire updated information trending. We laugh and debate on which players that are great. We're a bunch of biased people in one room, and you don't want to miss us. So tune in on YouTube. Type in Score on Air Live each and every Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. Call us up when you agree to disagree. 614-641-0674.
Get the most out of your money with the Oric XL Deluxe Hypoallergenic Upright Vacuum Cleaner. This state-of-the-art vacuum cleaner is exactly what you need to keep your home clean. With advanced technology, the Oric can reach dust and dirt in places you never imagined. As an extra perk, you won't need to buy bags ever again, as this amazing machine is self-cleaning. Let's face it, it can get frustrating going over the same spots over and over again due to spewing of dirt, dust, and allergens. Well, with Oric's 7 layers of filtration, this is the most powerful vacuum cleaner on the market. It can be yours now for just $399. For more info on how to make it yours, give us a call today at 1-800-ORIC-XL. That's 1-800-673-2595.
Come out and join us at Flavor 91 for their grand opening. Flavor 91 is located at 5186 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio. Flavor 91 is a burger bistro and offers such beverages as beer and wine. Again, the grand opening is September 15, 2016 at 1 p.m. 5186 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio. Join us at Flavor 91.
Are you someone who has always dreamed of a career in sports media? The Ohio Media School now offers a 6-month sports emphasis program to prepare you for a whole new career. Whether it's radio or television, play-by-play or production, the Ohio Media School has you covered. You will receive training from professionals that are actually in the industry. The Ohio Media School will get you where you need to be for a successful career in this exciting, expanding field. To schedule a visit, call 614-655-5250 or go to beonair.com. Stop dreaming about a career in sports and make it a reality at the Ohio Media School.
This is Bob McElligott, the radio voice of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and you're listening to the new generation of sports talk radio. ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
And we're back with Talking Smack Down. I'm not going to take Talking Smack because that's a great name. I wish we would have came up with that name. We have a couple matches already announced. We do know tonight will be the night the return of Becky Lynch. As our intern Larry just alluded to us during the break, I didn't know that myself until just now.
Her new name is Becky Balboa.
Becky Balboa.
Yeah. But yes, as we mentioned in the news segment at the top of the show, she did return to action at a live event over the weekend. So
it'll be great to have her back, honestly, because it feels like the women's division without their champion there feels a little stale.
Yeah.
Minus Alexa Bliss. But you can't be mad at somebody that's only 5'3".
Yeah.
That's like being mad, like you're 8 foot and being mad at somebody that's 5 foot. It's like a midget to you. But we did have 2 matches announced already. One of them was announced right after SmackDown last week. We have Kane and Bray Wyatt, no DQ. No DQ means anything's going to happen. I think we're going to see Orton and Harper.
Yeah,
that's my personal opinion, or at least one or the other.
Well, those stipulations, I'm sure, were designed for that very reason, so that these guys can continue to mix it up. And I don't know where they're really going with this, if this is going to be of a Survivor Series thing, where they plan to take this storyline.
I'd say Survivor Series casket match, and let kind of Bray Wyatt take over that kind of casket match gimmick.
This could be a way to sort of transfer their program with the Wyatts over to Kane, so Orton is free to do something with Survivor Series that doesn't involve the Wyatt family. So I'm not sure. I wasn't thrilled by what they did last week. It's just too hokey for me.
Too gimmicky.
Yeah, it's just been far too much sports entertainment, which is usually in short supply on SmackDown in a good way. You know, that they've been able to just put together a good solid wrestling show and not have too many goofy things.
Yeah, because
getting in
we
the way.
know Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon lied, where they said it wasn't going to be about us, it's going to be about the wrestling. Actually, I think we've seen more Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan than...
Well, Shane wasn't on the show last week.
It was Daniel Bryan that we're seeing an awful
Yeah.
lot of. Which I don't mind. I like Daniel Bryan, but...
I'd say he's a fan favorite, so they had to throw him in there.
Just while we have a second here, Daniel Bryan and Brie did announce that they are going to be having a baby girl. So
A baby
congratulations.
girl goat.
Yes. Well, congratulations to them. I'm sure that this is just the start of a big happy family that they're going to end up having.
Oh, what does that leave Brie? Is she ever going to come back? Or
She has alluded, she has said once she has the baby, she would like to get back into the ring.
Get back in the ring? Oh, okay.
But
so
that's...
she ain't calling it quits.
She might change her mind once she has the experience of becoming a parent.
Right, especially if Daniel Bryan doesn't get in the ring again. Well, they're going to need that income coming in. So maybe he stays the stay-at-home dad and she goes to work.
Hey, it's the new millennial.
Total Brie, they can make a new show about
Yeah.
it on E! Who knows?
Genius,
All right.
pure genius.
I got some good ideas. Alexa Bliss. We know Becky Lynch comes back tonight. Tomorrow night. Well, I'm so used to... I don't know where my brain's at today. We know she comes back tomorrow. So do you automatically put her and Alexa Bliss back in the story, or do you keep letting Alexa Bliss go against Naomi to build up? Which eventually, isn't it going to be a triple threat match in Glasgow?
No, I don't know if they've confirmed that already. I mean, they are heading to Alexa Bliss getting a title shot November the 8th when they go over to Scotland.
I was about to say, but I think, because she got a legitimate complaint. She did beat Alexa Bliss.
Well, it was supposed to happen, what was it, the night after the pay-per-view, or it was supposed to happen like last month, and Becky Lynch had this medical situation that forced her out of action, so they just sort of had to find a way. That's when Naomi started coming into this picture, so...
And she deserves it. Naomi's a talented, very talented lady.
Hey, what's your definition of talented?
No, really, in-ring talented.
Because you say Eva Marie's talented too, and we know
if they are going to have Becky Lynch in
Starting to
action,
notice a pattern.
that I would do a tag team situation, or I would do something where she just has a chance to just get back in there and just look like a champion again before they do the title match.
Becky Lynch and Naomi versus Alexa Bliss and Natalya.
There you go.
There's your tag match for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
No, that'd be a great segment to put at the top of the second hour.
As long as Natalya doesn't come out talking about how the children are the future.
Well, she might still be showing Daniel Bryan cat pictures, so.
That's true, which her own cat does have an Instagram page.
2 paws.
Right, 2 paws.
Yep.
I've looked at it.
Well, my wife has one for our greyhound, so.
Okay, so it...
Oh, got a greyhound.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I guess it's not... When I heard it on Raw or on SmackDown, I was like, wait a minute, that's a little creepy. But then again, I know how her and Tyson Kidd are with the cats.
It is very funny. It is an interesting direction that they're taking her character in.
Better than that grumpy cat. So, tag team division. What's next for Beauty and the Man Beast? I kind of like that nickname. It kind of sticks.
They've got to get American Alpha and the Usos back in this situation. They've got to... Those teams had so much momentum 2-3 weeks ago, a month ago, just a short time ago, and now it feels very flat for both of them. Whether it's a match between those two teams or just their status as potential challengers for the tag titles. I just don't see there being as much interest in that, and I don't know why, because those two teams are two of the finest teams in the entire business right now.
Set up at least a match for the number one contendership. Do something.
Yeah.
Because you got Rhino and Heath Slater doing this segment with Dolph Ziggler. You're not really, they're showing as a tag team. They are, but I want more tag team wrestling.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well,
especially when the roster's already kind of small when it comes to tag teams as it is.
Right.
You got the Ascension, the Vaudevillains, which I like the Vaudevillains. I just think they need a new gimmick.
My problem with the Vaudevillains is that they don't wrestle like those characters. They dress up like these old-time guys, but then they just go out and do moves like every other wrestler from the Performance Center. If they had a style that was more, if they did moves in a way that resembled the way people used to do them 50, 60 years ago.
Or even did what the Revival does, isolate limbs, that old tag team
Not
wrestling.
even that much, but they need, if people who saw Wrestling Society X remember Matt Classic. Matt Classic was supposed to be a wrestler from the 50s that, hadn't changed, and he did moves like he was a wrestler from the 50s, and it was hysterical, but it was also really fun to watch because it was so different than the way people do things now. And it's hard to describe. You almost have to show somebody to demonstrate it, but there is a lot more room for them to embody those characters, not just outside the ring, but in the match as well, and in the way that they go about the match and in the psychology of it. And that's where the Vaudevillains could be used and aren't.
Before we get into the AJ and Dean thing, I heard something today. Do you believe NXT should have a call down? Where, like, if a star's not doing as well as you would hope, like, let's just take Tyler Breeze, not getting the recognition that he deserves, do you think WWE should be able to do a call down?
I think any time that you try to imply that there's a negative associated with NXT for one talent, it's going to stretch and apply to all the other talents. You don't want it to seem like Shinsuke Nakamura is only the best of these guys who are being punished by being on NXT. No, I think that there's room for them to do where guys go up and down, but not necessarily in that context of being demoted like you're sent to the minor leagues in baseball.
Because they did it with Husky Harris. Put him down in NXT and he emerged as Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, but they didn't frame it like it was a punishment. So I would like to see that, but I think that you need to do it more the other way. You need to have guys fighting on NXT for a spot on the main roster.
So real quick, since we're coming up to it, AJ Dean wins. He gets the number one contendership. You have James Ellsworth. I have a feeling Ellsworth's going to be a referee for this match.
What I would do is just have it be a straight match, have Ellsworth come out at the end and affect the outcome to help Dean Ambrose win, and then maybe he's not so lucky next week. Maybe AJ Styles is a step ahead of him.
Beats him down.
Or just has Ellsworth come out and help him this time.
Right.
All I know is if AJ is going to be this top dog champion, let him be the top dog champion.
Don't make him a joke.
Yeah, don't make him a joke. Yeah.
Mark's agreeing with me finally with AJ. Larry, real quick.
I agree with you guys. I think they've sort of turned AJ Styles into a joke with James Ellsworth.
When we get back, we're going to do our news from the Indy. We're going to talk about the PWA show from Saturday. We got tons more left. We're only hitting hour 2. You're listening to Hill and Face, ScoreOnAir.com.
You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio in Columbus. Online sports radio, WSOA ScoreOnAir.com, the score.
Hey guys, Matty Ice here, proud alum of the Ohio Media School. Get the training you need to get a job you will love. The Ohio Media School has classes in radio, television, sports broadcasting, and film and video production. Visit BeOnAir.com today to get started. That's BeOnAir.com.
What's good, Big Game James?
How you feeling, D.O. Jr.?
My guy, I'm super excited. High school sports is starting back, man.
Man, I'm even more excited because we got this new show starting. Tell the people what we doing, D.O. Jr.
Man, we starting the Central Ohio High School Showcase, the COHSS.
That's right. We're covering football, basketball, baseball, soccer, volleyball, and track and field. If it's in season, we own it.
Hey, you know we do this for the kids, man. You can listen live by going to scoreonair.com via the TuneIn app, or watch us streaming live by going to the Score On Air YouTube channel.
The COHSS, giving you nothing less, showcasing Central Ohio's best.
You're listening to the home of heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping sports.
Broadcasting from Ohio Media School in the greatest city in the state.
In the greatest state in the country.
In the greatest country in the world.
You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com.
Do you need home repairs? Do you want a new style to your home but don't know where to start? Well, call Kimball Home Repairs and Renovations, and owner and founder Glenn Kimball will come out personally and give you an estimate on the job. Commercial or residential, we can do it. Kitchens, bathrooms, basements, we can do it. Drywall, paint, flooring, plumbing, we can do it. Whatever the job, big or small, we can do it. For over 35 years, Kimball Home Repairs and Renovations has satisfied thousands of customers with high-quality service at reasonable rates. Please call Glenn Kimball for your free estimate at 614-206-9459. Again, that's 614-206-9459. Or email at KimballDrywallAndPaint@yahoo.com. Kimball Home Repairs and Renovations has been family-owned for the past 35 years, and we now consider you part of the family too. Please call at 614-206-9459 for your free estimate now.
Nasty Sports Bar in Reynoldsburg is under new management. Located at 6150 East Main Street, the home for Taco Tuesday is rejuvenated and the home for great food and family fun. Nasty Sports Bar is a great place for happy hour, serving $2 domestics, $3 glasses of wine, and $5 appetizers, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 614-864-2827 to find out the daily specials. Nasties. Great food, family fun, with a cool name.
The new generation of sports talk radio. Here's your ScoreOnAir.com Score Center update.
This is Greg Brantmeyer with your Score Center update. It was anything but happy in Happy Valley on Saturday as the Penn State Nittany Lions took down the second-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes by the score of 24-21. The big play of the game came with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left in the fourth quarter when Penn State's Grant Haley returned a blocked field goal 60 yards for the touchdown. The play gave the Nittany Lions the first lead of the game and one that they would not give up. The loss dropped the Buckeyes from number 2 to number 6 in the AP poll and catapulted Penn State from unranked number 24. The Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Cleveland Browns 31-17 on Sunday. A.J. Green had a highlight reel game with 8 catches, 169 yards, and a touchdown. But the story many people are talking about is yet another quarterback is taking snaps for the Cleveland Browns. Rookie Cody Kessler went down in the second quarter for a concussion evaluation and was ruled out, opening the door for rookie Kevin Hogan. Hogan is the Browns' 6th quarterback to take an offensive snap in 7 games, a streak the Browns are hoping will not continue. The World Series matchup is now set after the Chicago Cubs defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers on Saturday. The Cubs will face the Cleveland Indians in Game 1 of the World Series Tuesday night. After an 0-2 start, the Columbus Blue Jackets won both of their weekend games to pull themselves back to 500. They play the Kings Tuesday night in Los Angeles. For all your news, scores, and updates, keep it locked right here on ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio. The Score.
You're listening to the home of the latest sports news and updates in Columbus.
Streaming live on YouTube and the worldwide TuneIn Radio app. This is ScoreOnAir.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, EC
Welcome back to Hour 2 of the Heel and Face Show. We are here every Monday and Friday at ScoreOnAir.com. You can call us if you have any burning questions or topics that you need to discuss at 614-641-0674. We can be seen streaming live at YouTube at Score on Air's page. You can always download the TuneIn Radio app from your Android or iTunes store and take us with you wherever you go. We also have information about a big contest coming up later on in the show. We are streaming on Facebook Live, so make sure that you go to the Heel and Face page on Facebook and add us on there and check out all of the things that we have to offer on that. We're going to talk a little bit of news about TNA, of which there is all sorts, and then, as we have said, get more in depth about the PWA action from this weekend down in Lancaster, but a number of details about Billy Corgan's lawsuit against TNA have emerged and shed significant light on the nature of his complaints. Quite frankly, there's a lot of legal mumbo-jumbo out there, so I've tried to just summarize the situation as best as I can. But essentially, Corgan claims that TNA is in violation of an agreement between him and the company regarding his power and authority as president upon the investment that he made a while back. According to that agreement, if TNA were to become insolvent, Corgan would then therefore assume control of the company and have the ability to hire and fire people and create his own staff members as he sees fit. Corgan claims that TNA is insolvent and that Dixie Carter informed him of that, and yet he has not been granted the authority. Furthermore, he claims that under the terms of the agreement, he should have been informed of any communications with WWE or other parties in regards to selling off company assets, such as the tape library or other rights, and that he has not been notified of this. He feels that he has rights to all of this, the documentation and communication over all of these situations, but has not been granted any of the authority in the agreement. Dixie Carter is challenging the claims, saying TNA is not insolvent, which in this case basically means insolvent means that your debts are greater than the assets that you have. And it seems to be beyond question that TNA is insolvent. But in any case, that's for courts to decide. As Dixie Carter is challenging that claim, the notification of default, and Corgan's rights to this specific company information, and no further action will be taken in the case until next week when Corgan's request for a restraining order will be heard. And news of yet one more lawsuit, as Dave Meltzer of WrestlingObserver.com reports that Bank Direct has filed suit against TNA for unpaid debts. The suit was filed September 29th in Cook County, Illinois, specifically alleging unpaid debts, late charges, interest, and attorney fees in the amount of $207,000, $7,612. Excuse me. Bank Direct loaned TNA in excess of $400,000 earlier last year for the purpose of paying insurance premiums, and a repayment plan had been agreed upon, but TNA are still $207,000 behind on the debt. They were expected to make 10 monthly payments of approximately $41,000, but have not done so. This action adds to the growing list of creditors that are demanding repayment from TNA, which, aside from Corgan, includes Audience of One Productions for $223,000, Bischoff Hervey Entertainment for $115,000 approximately.
I think they owe me money too.
Yeah. American Express Travel Services, like we spoke of last week, for almost $270,000, and we don't know the amount of delinquent taxes that they owe the state of Tennessee. But TNA is in a very, very strange situation. It seems like Billy Corgan was sold a bill of goods, that he was told one thing and yet something else entirely happened. He wouldn't have been granted the injunction that he was thus far if there wasn't a reasonable chance that he would win this case. So this is the equivalent of a hostile takeover in this situation. But Billy Corgan believes he has the right to fire Dixie Carter or Dean Broadhead or anyone that he sees fit now that he is the president of the company, and he hasn't been able to do so. And Dixie Carter is going around trying to sell pieces of the company to Anthem Sports or to WWE or to whomever under his nose and not talking to him about it. It sounds fairly underhanded to me. I'm sure that he can prove impropriety in any number of ways, but it's just unfortunate for the wrestlers who knows if they've gotten paid from the last set of tapings and what's going to happen to them as of next year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got mortgages and stuff.
This is where if you're like a TNA guy, if you don't feel like they're going to do their job, you got to jump ship.
Yeah.
I know it is horrible to say you got to leave now while maybe they're planning like other organizations want you.
Well, on that note, there is a rumor that's been going around. I didn't really feel like there was enough substance to it to write a story about it, but there is a company called Flow Sports that is FLO Sports. I assume it's named as such, but they are looking into getting into live event streaming and partnering with all sorts of independent promotions. Seems like WWE is trying to do the same to arrange agreements with these companies that aren't going to work with this other one. So if TNA is not around next year, there might be a lot of wrestlers for some of these smaller companies to book. But yeah, I think this is why Cody Rhodes made only a short-term deal with TNA, because he's going to Ring of Honor by the end of the year anyway. He'll definitely be with them a lot next year. So
Drew Galloway's got GFW, I think.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be involved with Evolve going forward. I don't know how this is.
That's what I meant was Evolve.
Yeah, if Vince McMahon is able to strengthen the partnership that the WWE has developed with those guys, perhaps get into a relationship with Ring of Honor or somebody else as a way to counter this other company that's trying to develop streaming services, and who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, NXT is about to be loaded.
It's already loaded, man. It's already got all of the guys that were stars, if you can call them that, in TNA. The likes of Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries,
AJ Styles.
Yeah, I mean, they've graduated, if you will.
Yeah.
But
they went from college football to pro football, basically.
Yeah.
More like Arena League
or Canadian football to the NFL.
But that's what's going on with TNA, and we're certainly going to be hearing more about that as the days go along. As we said, next week, even more information
I got
should come
an indie
out.
card here. Did you hear about this? The chick fight?
No.
It was an 8-woman invitational tournament. Deonna Purrazzo, Kiera Hogan, Tasha Steelz, Rachel Ellering.
Okay.
It was basically whoever won the tournament, and Deonna Purrazzo became the first back-to-back Super 8 tournament, first ever in 20 years.
That's interesting.
Whoa.
Deonna Purrazzo's been she's popped up on NXT a few times. She's been around the independent scene quite a bit. That's very interesting event and roster they had there. Do you know where that took place?
Woodbury Heights, New Jersey.
Okay.
It was a big card. You had it was part of ECWA.
Oh, okay. I know that another promotion in that area, Jersey All Pro Wrestling, is having a big 20th anniversary show coming up soon.
CZW's getting ready to have another show out there in New Jersey.
The Jersey All Pro has Homicide and Low Key, I think, headlining that. But we also need to go over all the stuff that happened at PWA on Saturday, man. They had quite a crowd at
it was a packed house.
Yeah, the Fairfield County Fairgrounds. We were there along with our friend Nick Stevens, all the other fans and followers of PWA. We, as we said earlier in the show, Chris Pruitt did successfully retain his PWA Heavyweight Championship in his match with King Payne. Although I'm sure that King Payne will find a way to earn himself a rematch, because while it was a victory in the middle of the ring, it wasn't as decisive perhaps in King Payne's mind.
They were everywhere in this fight.
There were some very, very hard impacts on the ramp and the floor.
Almost broke the ramp.
Oh my goodness, that suplex that they did on that ramp. Yeah, I was less than 5 feet away from that, and that was the sound just reverberated.
Oh yeah, I was out near the ramp.
Right, you were shooting it. Well, yeah, we had all sorts of interesting things happen.
Yeah, RJ Cordova quit.
Yeah, that was quite surprising to, I'm sure, a lot of fans. He's, a popular, I don't say he's a newcomer, but he's one of the younger talents that is in PWA, and a lot of people seem to have merchandise and stuff for him, and he felt he was slighted.
He quit after he got his butt whooped by Lafferty.
Well, he had kind of a prison rules situation where he said he was going to call somebody out, and he got the biggest, toughest guy in Lafferty.
Yes.
And didn't exactly handle it. And then spontaneously quit after the match. I mean, I was
Lafferty beat him down.
An integral part of that. Yeah, and he seemed to enjoy doing it. He had a big smile on his face the whole time.
You had an American Outlaws.
Yeah, they retained their belts
against Fahrenheit and Mace Young.
Yeah, and
which was a good match.
Very good. They're not out of that picture yet in the slightest, and we'll hear more about that from one half of the challengers in that match on our show Friday.
James.
He retained his title
against Randy the Rowdy Hillbilly in his re-debut.
Yeah, after coming off an injury.
Oh, he finally got that.
Yeah, he finally got to come back. Then we had King Payne, which won by DQ after he got his crown destroyed.
Well, we also had JT Hogg and Morgan Taylor. So one half of the Hillbillies was successful, whereas the other half was not. The next PWA show is November the 5th at the PWA School of Pro Wrestling, 737 Slocum Avenue in Lancaster, Ohio. So check out pwaohio.com for more information on that.
And also check our show page. When we get back, we're going to talk this day in wrestling history and maybe some podcast talk. See who's out there floating around.
Oh, we got to do the contest?
Oh, the contest, too. When we come back, Aaron will give you the details of the full contest. You're listening to Hill and Face, ScoreOnAir.com.
Football is back, and the Score has you covered. The new generation of sports talk radio breaks down every game, every week.
Are you ready for some football?
Only on ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Hundreds of college stations across the country will unite to celebrate the unique medium of college radio.
This is Derek Ginter, General Manager of KTXT-FM at Texas Tech University. It's been said that you don't know what you've got until it's gone, and that was certainly the case here when we lost KTXT in late 2008. Students here quickly discovered that college radio provides opportunities that are quite different from social media. Opportunities like building self-confidence, developing leadership skills, and literally finding one's voice and learning how to use it. KTXT returned as a student radio station in 2011, and we've been wildly celebrating College Radio Day ever since. College Radio Day is an opportunity for student radio stations across the country to invite other students and members of the communities they serve to participate and see firsthand why college radio matters and is more relevant now than ever.
For more information, please visit collegeradioday.com.
A small village in Romania. After the 8th grade, students desiring to attend high school must pay their own way for transportation. From the village of Mochu to Cluj to Apahita, it costs $350 American dollars per year per child for the bus ride of over 1 hour each way. With your help, 8 Roma children will be able to accomplish something their parents and grandparents could not do. Most of their parents have not received an elementary education. This year, 3 boys and 5 girls can have that chance to attend high school. Will you help? Please make a donation of whatever you can to help these 8 children get their high school education. Make your donations payable to Worthington Presbyterian Church, 773 North High Street, Worthington, Ohio, 43085. And add on the memo line, bus transportation. Your donation will make a dream become a reality.
Are you someone who has always dreamed of a career in sports media? The Ohio Media School now offers a 6-month sports emphasis program to prepare you for a whole new career. Whether it's radio or television, play-by-play or production, the Ohio Media School has you covered. You will receive training from professionals that are actually in the industry. The Ohio Media School will get you where you need to be for a successful career in this exciting, expanding field. To schedule a visit, call 614-655-5250 or go to beonair.com. Stop dreaming about a career in sports and make it a reality at the Ohio Media School.
We know that Columbus, Ohio was discovered back in 1812. We know it's the 15th largest city in the country. Did you know that Columbus has grown to be one of the most exciting cities in the United States? Experience theater, sports, music, family fun, and more. It's time for you to experience Columbus. Take the family to a theater show at the Garden Theater or the Columbus Performing Arts Center. Show team spirit at a Crew soccer game, Blue Jackets hockey game, or cheer on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Want to see some live music? Head downtown to see a live music show at the Columbus Commons. You could also see your favorite performers at the LC Pavilion or the Newport. Don't get me started on the places to eat. Impress your date and grab a meal at the high-class restaurant in the Short North. Play, stay, dine, and explore all right here in the capital city. For more details, log on to ExperienceColumbus.com. Turn your experience into a lifelong memory.
Come out and join us at Flavor 91 for their grand opening. Flavor 91 is located at 5186 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio. Flavor 91 is a burger bistro and offers such beverages as beer and wine. Again, the grand opening is September 15, 2016 at 1 p.m. 5186 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio. Join us at Flavor 91.
Get the sports you want, when you want. Broadcasting all day and night. You're home for the latest sports news and updates. You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com.
welcome back once again to the Heel and Face Show, scoreonair.com. We're here every Monday and Friday, 5 to 7, but we've got some information about a big contest here before I send it back over to James for us to continue our discussion of NXT and TNA. But the big weekly contest here from Score on Air is in progress as we speak. We have a Indians rally towel and a Cleveland Cavaliers shirt here that we're giving away. Congratulations to the Indians and all those Indians fans for their appearance in the World Series, being the American League champions, taking on the National League champions Chicago Cubs, and what's going to be a fascinating series to watch. But if you're out there all week, just call us here at 614-641-0674 and give the operator your information. We will draw the winner on Friday, and it will be announced in the show that follows us on Fridays, the one and only Tyson's Punch-Out, which James appears on quite often, but that follows us Friday at 7 while we're here from 5 to 7. You just make sure you get your entry in before we go on the air and have a chance to win this cool towel and this cool T-shirt that we've got here, because if nobody else, we can't win it, so if nobody else wins it here, then I might just have to find a way to...
You can have the T-shirt. I want the towel.
Okay.
we'll make a trade deal.
I mean...
Since New Day the champion, I'll just take both of them.
But somebody out there is going to get that, and it's not going to be us, but the only way that you can be eligible is to call the station here, 614-641-0674, give them your information. You can call that number to get in touch with us during our show here if you have questions or comments about any of the subjects we've been talking about so far. WWE, indie news, whether it's TNA, whether it's Ring of Honor,
show.
local, yes. We've got more information about that on other shows coming up in the next few episodes, but make sure you call in and get your chance to win these great items here, this Cav shirt and the Indians rally towel. So what do you got for us, James, about NXT this week?
NXT this week, we don't do spoilers. Even though I looked at them, I'm just going to give you the matches they have set up for it. You have Ciampa and Gargano versus Ho Ho Lun and Tian Biang, which I believe were both the Chinese wrestlers that WWE signed.
Yes. Ho Ho Lun actually has his own promotion in China, from what I understand. But that's Dusty Classic action, I assume.
Yes. Then you have Aaliyah and Billie Kay.
That should be good. Been seeing a lot more intensity from Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. They've been joining forces to stake a claim on the women's division. In fact, they called out Asuka last week on NXT, so we'll see how that fares for them.
Then you have Kota Ibushi and T.J. Perkins versus Lince Dorado.
Lince Dorado, the
and,
Golden Links.
Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, so that's Dusty Classic action, but...
then you have Ty Dillinger and Noah...
Noam Dar?
No, Noah Potjes.
Okay, I'm not familiar with this guy. So
there was an interview afterwards.
Yeah, he might be a new NXT recruit.
Or one of them enhancement guys.
It's hard to say.
Who knows with them. With TNA, we really don't have much with TNA. That or they're keeping a lot of it under wraps. Even though it's out there.
Yeah, it's after this week, I mean, we can talk a little bit more about what went down with Cody Rhodes and Eddie Edwards. Well, let's talk about Lashley's victory in Bellator over the weekend.
You mean the domination?
Well, he won the first round 10-8, and I'm surprised that guy made it off the stool for the second round, and then he got choked out. You know, it was a foregone conclusion match, but it
was interesting.
We will leave this to the fellows at Tyson's Punch-Out to analyze more deeply, because I am not as abreast on MMA news as I am on pro wrestling. But from what I understand, Bellator's heavyweight championship is vacant at the moment, and I can't think of a better challenger for that than Lashley.
But the only problem, I'm just going to say this, the only problem is Lashley hasn't fought anybody ranked like in the top 10. Yeah, he's a good fighter. He's 5-0 under Bellator, but he hasn't really fought like that huge name.
I haven't seen him be challenged. I haven't really seen, every time that I've seen him fight, he's controlled the first round without question, and usually it's just a matter of time after that. But he did call out Eddie Edwards after the match.
Oh yeah, said he's coming for the TNA title.
Yeah, some MMA purists scoffed at that, but I think that's part of the appeal of Bobby Lashley, and something they lost when they took the belt off of him. Not that I have anything bad to say about Eddie Edwards, but that they had such a dominant champion, and now he looks like he couldn't back it up. Yeah,
Eddie's in trouble.
The only match they have announced for TNA that I'm seeing is Cody and Brandy Rhodes against Michael Bennett and Maria Kanellis.
Let's ask Mark real quick here. Do you see Lashley being put back on top of TNA by the end of the year? Do you think he's done with TNA? Do you think that he sees the money problems and he has success in MMA, that he's going to go somewhere else and just try maybe Japan or just go straight into MMA full time? Or
well, his name, he's so known and popular and success and everywhere he went, so I don't think it really matters to him. I think he'll stick with TNA until they've kapoots. Then he just go on to the next.
He has said that he's pretty much behind them until there is no other choice. But I wouldn't be surprised if WWE has a little bit more interest in him. Because I can say this much about Lashley. I didn't care, 2 handfuls of whatever when he was in WWE, ECW, whatever you want to call it, in 2007. But as he has continued to wrestle and branched out into MMA, he's a heck of a lot more fun to watch. His matches are a lot more interesting. They're a lot more solid, and he's just such a physical specimen. He's on the order of like Lex Luger. Like, nobody has a physique like that in the business now. When Luger was around, he was it.
The total package.
Yeah, I mean, maybe somebody like Warrior or Rude, but there were obvious differences with the Warrior and everybody else. Not that, I'm sure Luger went to the same store, if you know what I mean, but
yeah.
But I don't think Lashley's doing any of that stuff. But
just to preview Lucha.
Oh yeah,
we do have Sexy Star,
the one and only Sexy Star
versus Johnny Mundo.
That should be good. I know that's something they've had a rivalry with Taya and Sexy Star a little bit. So
it's Johnny Mundo though.
This
match is going to be great.
Lucha Underground. I wish that this is their longest season yet. This is going to be like 40 episodes this season. But I wish that there was more of an overall goal implied, or more angles that we are building to Ultima Lucha or to something. It just seems like a bunch of matches and not like a focused storyline like it's been in the past.
Then you have Lucha Underground's Black Lotus is expecting her first child.
That's interesting.
So one of their
this,
women
baby making
wrestlers
season?
is pregnant. Then you alluded or talked about that they're going to go on tour.
Yeah, next week they have some dates lined up. They have 3 shows, San Diego, Houston, and Phoenix, I believe. I might be incorrect on one of those towns, but they've advertised Rey Mysterio, Johnny Mundo, Puma, who might have to work these Lucha dates instead of some New Japan bookings that could very well conflict. But they're going to do 3 different shows. The tickets are free, I guess, for these shows.
Yes.
You can find more out about it through Cricket Wireless, the El Rey Network, or Lucha Underground. But unfortunately, it's not coming to this part of the country.
Not yet.
Yeah, but that's what this is. This is a test run to see what the market is for house shows out there, and this is just to sort of see what they can figure out before they expand this part of their business model next year and in the years to come.
Then we have Dario Cueto is bringing the Dial of Doom back. Which is always fun to watch.
Dario, his unique opportunities are certainly that.
Which, Mark, do you know what the Wheel of Doom is? Or the Dial of Doom?
No, I heard a little bit about
Basically, every superstar's name is on the wheel. Whoever it lands on gets an automatic title shot against Matanza.
Yeah.
And it never goes good. It never does.
Well, to me, I wish they would do more emphasis on how
I like that.
How Matanza is defending his title all of the time. He's looking more and more vulnerable. They need to try to imply more strongly that Matanza is becoming more and more vulnerable as Dario continues to use him as this weapon or this tool for, just amusing himself.
Then we have Ivelisse takes on Mariposa.
Ivelisse and Mariposa.
For the first time, they're going against each other.
Yeah, Ivelisse is probably my favorite female competitor on Lucha Underground. She has so much intensity and is fun to watch, and it never gets too hokey with her segments, although they're corny as everything else that's on that show.
Well,
but
you got to think Mariposa has her sleazy brother,
yeah, Marty the Moth, yeah.
I mean, if you guys have not checked out Lucha Underground, I already know who wins this stuff, but I'm not going to tell you. It's on Wednesday on the El Rey Network.
And you can subscribe to it. You can get a season pass on iTunes where it will come once a week, delivered to whatever device you specify. But you will have access to them whether you get El Rey Network or not, so you don't have to go out of your way to find it if you don't have El Rey Network.
El Rey Network's on what all? Time Warner?
Time Warner Direct. I think actually right now Lucha Underground or El Rey's working out new deals with the cable subscribers.
Well, who knows what's going on with Time Warner if they get bought by AT&T, which what seemed like
They
85 billion.
later.
Yeah.
Spectrum.
Yeah, so who knows what's going to happen with that, but
Then they're introducing somebody named Jeremiah.
I don't
He looks a lot like Solomon Crow in my book. The way
it
that
might
they're
be.
showing him.
I believe it is Sami Callihan. I'm not seeing this picture that you have, but and I don't want to say something that I'm not sure about, but
That's who it looks like in my book. That's who I think it is.
I seem to recall that there was word that he would be involved with Lucha Underground, and it seemed like a good fit to me. So
if you're a wrestling fan and you like to see, let's just say you're one of them old school guys, you wouldn't mind seeing a woman face a man in a squared circle. Lucha Underground's where to go with it. Because they do believe in these matches, like with Sexy Star versus Johnny Mundo.
Well, Lucha Underground is an entirely different flavor of wrestling than what you are used to from WWE or
Shame on them.
maybe TNA or other promotions, but it's every bit as exciting and fun and
I
different.
wish they would do a 2-hour show. Honestly, I wish they would do 2 hours.
Shame on them. They're going to have a woman face
So
a man.
when we come
Shame on
back,
them.
we're going to talk this day in wrestling history. You're listening to Score on Air's Heel and Face, the new generation of sports talk radio.
Football is back, and the Score has you covered. The new generation of sports talk radio breaks down every game, every week. Are you ready for some football? Only on ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Hey guys, Matty Ice here, proud alum of the Ohio Media School. Get the training you need to get a job you will love. The Ohio Media School has classes in radio, television, sports broadcasting, and film and video production. Visit BeOnAir.com today to get started. That's BeOnAir.com.
NWA Midwest Championship Wrestling is looking for interns. Have you heard of Ric Flair? Well, this is the company that brought you Ric Flair before he went to the WWE, and we're looking for interns to work behind the scenes hand in hand with production, with audio, with video, and with podcasts and radio. Contact Damon Dury, the big dog, at 740-971-3968.
Nasty Sports Bar in Reynoldsburg is under new management. Located at 6150 East Main Street, the home for Taco Tuesday is rejuvenated and the home for great food and family fun. Nasty Sports Bar is a great place for happy hour, serving $2 domestics, $3 glasses of wine, and $5 appetizers, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 614-864-2827 to find out the daily specials. Nasty's. Great food, family fun, with a cool name.
Hey guys, Scott Shelton here again, campus director for the Ohio Media School. Are you looking for a career in media, radio, television, sports broadcasting, or film and video production? You need to come check out the Ohio Media School's Columbus campus. You want a job that you will love, and we have the training to get you started. Stop by the Ohio Media School's audio and video studios to check out the opportunities and internships that we have for our students and graduates. Call 614-655-5250 or visit beonair.com. That's beonair.com.
The new generation of sports talk radio. Here's your ScoreOnAir.com Score Center update.
This is Greg Brantmeyer with your Score Center update. It was anything but happy in Happy Valley on Saturday as the Penn State Minty Lions took down the second-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes by the score of 24-21. The big play of the game came with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left in the fourth quarter when Penn State's Grant Haley returned a blocked field goal 60 yards for the touchdown. The play gave the Minty Lions the first lead of the game and one that they would not give up. The loss dropped the Buckeyes from number 2 to number 6 in the AP poll and catapulted Penn State from unranked number 24. The Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Cleveland Browns 31-17 on Sunday. A.J. Green had a highlight reel game with 8 catches, 169 yards, and a touchdown, but the story many people are talking about is yet another quarterback is taking snaps for the Cleveland Browns. Rookie Cody Kessler went down in the second quarter for a concussion evaluation and was ruled out, opening the door for rookie Kevin Hogan. Hogan is the Browns' 6th quarterback to take an offensive snap in 7 games, a streak the Browns are hoping will not continue. The The World Series matchup is now set after the Chicago Cubs defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers on Saturday. The Cubs will face the Cleveland Indians in Game 1 of the World Series Tuesday night. After an 0-2 start, the Columbus Blue Jackets won both of their weekend games to pull themselves back to 500. They play the Kings Tuesday night in Los Angeles. For all your news, scores, and updates, keep it locked right here on ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio. The Score.
Broadcasting from the Score on Air studios at the Ohio Media School in Columbus, Ohio. Your home for all the latest sports news and talk. ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
You're soft, you're sloppy. They call him
And
Bobby.
we're back
Rolling in
with
base, riding around,
segment
I'll beat up
7,
July.
this day in wrestling history, which I did see something earlier today. There was a death in the music world.
Uh-oh.
Aaron, you saw this too. I know you did.
I did not.
I just can't think of who it was, but obviously it wasn't that big of a person.
Well, maybe
I would known.
maybe I can find out real quick, just so we don't have this
All
loose
right,
end
the
dangling.
name of the article for this day in wrestling history: Russo ruins Halloween Havoc.
That he did. If that was anybody that saw Halloween Havoc 99, which is what I assume you're talking about.
We're going to get into it a little bit today. 36 years ago in Okinawa, Tiger Jeet
Singh
defeated Antonio Inoki to win the UWA World Heavyweight Championship.
And I believe the musician you were talking about was singer Bobby V.
Yes.
Like 60s like doo-wop pop guy. So
Yes. Every time I think of 60s doo-wop, I think of that, what's his name, Billy Idol do some doo-wop stuff?
No, you're thinking of somebody different. Billy Idol was in Generation X, a punk band, and then, of course, his 80s stuff. But I don't know who you'd be thinking of in that case.
The guy who does Piano Man.
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel, that's who it was. He did that 80s doo-wop stuff. Which
He did some of that stuff later on, yeah. I'm not as much of a fan of his as I was of Generation X. But
All right, now we're in Halloween Havoc. 23 years ago in Halloween Havoc, Ice Train, Charlie Norris, and the Shockmaster defeated Harlem Heat, Cole and Kane, and the Equalizer.
That's 95. That has to be.
Well, this is just one of them.
Oh, okay.
Vader defeated Cactus Jack in a Texas death match.
That's 94 then, I think, or maybe even 93.
Then you have...
I guess you said
Cleveland.
23 years ago today, so that would be 93.
In Cleveland, Ohio, 18 years ago, the Dudley Boys defeated RVD and Sabu to win the ECW World Tag Team Championships.
They put people through
For the
tape.
fourth time.
For the fourth
Yeah.
time. Well, they ended up being 8-time ECW Tag Team Champions.
I knew it. They're the best.
All right, so here's your Halloween Havoc, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Halloween Havoc. Harlem Heat, Booker T, and Stevie Ray defeated Kidman and Conan and Brian Knobbs and Hugh Morris in a three-way match to win the WCW World Tag Team Championship.
I don't know about anybody else, but I sure do miss Harlem Heat. Dude was my
They were a
boys.
great team. I loved
Yeah.
Stevie Ray. Stevie Ray was hilarious. He was a great worker. Booker T, what more needs to be said about Booker T? Was athletic, charismatic guys. You know, such a unique character. But yeah, they were around in Texas in the early 90s.
Yes.
Like,
But weren't they called Cole and Kane?
yeah, well, they were the Ebony Experience as Booker T and Stevie Ray, and then when they came into WCW for a while, they were Kane and Cole. Then they went back to their regular names.
And I love that. The one I remember the most is when they had the little fake cell phones, and they was calling for their help.
Yeah.
I forgot who they was wrestling with. And then Scary Sherry came out there, became their manager.
Oh man,
That
yeah,
was awesome.
that
I
was such a
like,
fun
yeah.
package having Sherry with them. It just was so hilarious.
Sensational Sherry. I'm sorry.
Indeed. Well,
Yeah.
that was Sister Sherry at that
Yeah,
point.
that was Sister Sherry at that point.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero defeated Perry Saturn by DQ. That was a good one. Rick Steiner defeated Chris Benoit to win the World Television Championship.
Yeah, this was the show. This was 1 week after Russo and Ferrara took over creative at WCW. They had done the Nitro before this, and then they did this pay-per-view. There was DDP and Ric Flair was on this.
Yes, which Diamond Dallas Page defeated Ric Flair in a strap match.
Yeah, this was a feud about Kimberly, essentially. Then they...
Which that doesn't surprise me.
No, but they also... And David Flair was involved in that, too. They also did a Sting Hulk Hogan thing that everybody was confused about, where...
Yes.
Hogan just laid down and let Sting pin him and win the belt. It ended
also had Goldberg and Sid Vicious.
Well, and then it ended up at the end of the night with Sting saying he came out for a fight and he wants to, put this title on the line, and Goldberg challenged him and won. But the next night they overturned the title win.
And it was vacated.
Yeah, and that's what set up the tournament, the 32-man tournament that became the Mayhem pay-per-view.
So Vince Russo messed up Halloween Havoc.
It was there were 10 things happening in every segment. There were like 13, 14 matches in the show. It was just utter chaos and such a it was sensory overload it was such a different rhythm than WCW had in the past. And I would say that sometimes a change is as good as a rest, but in this case, it was a negative, and it only got worse from there.
It blew it.
6 years ago, you had WWE bragging rights in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is kind of where they are this week.
Yeah, that's right. They are in Minneapolis today, and I'm glad they're not trying to do the bragging rights thing in addition to the Survivor Series stuff, this cross-promotion, cross-brand thing, because that just never got over with me. If I recall, the show you're talking about, it might be the year following, but one of those bragging rights shows had Dolph Ziggler and Kaval, Loki, whatever he was called in WWE.
No, this one was Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, that's a heck of a match.
Then you had Ted DiBiase Jr. defeated Goldust.
Okay.
Then you had Kane and Undertaker in a Buried Alive match.
Oh.
Then you had the main event was Wade Barrett defeated Randy Orton by DQ in a WWE Championship match.
Yeah, I remember that match.
This is when the Nexus was running. It was David Otunga and John Cena versus the Dashing Ones.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre.
Right.
Then, with it being Brock Lesnar Day, 6 years ago today is when Undertaker made his statement about Brock Lesnar at a UFC event.
Yeah, that was an incident that occurred in a post-match interview. Brock Lesnar was being interviewed by, I believe it was Ariel Helwani, I'm not sure, but...
well, this one is Ariel Helwani interviewing The Undertaker.
Yeah, and Brock goes by, and I had the people mixed, but one of them walks by the other, and they're basically like, you want to do this, and they get into a confrontation, and they had intended to go to that a little bit earlier, but that was used to set up their matches later on when 2014.
Dana White could have cashed in on that fight if he was smart enough. Even though Undertaker and Brock in a UFC match would have been lopsided, you could have built this thing to make it huge.
Well, I did enjoy the stuff that they did with Brock and the Undertaker.
Yes,
last year
was awesome.
That's a Hell in a Cell match that quite memorable when they tore up the ring and
you see the board and everything. Yeah. Then 1 year ago, Ring of Honor presented Glory by Honor, Night 2 from Dayton, Ohio, the Montgomery Fairgrounds.
I actually had tickets for that show at one point and had to sell them because I couldn't make it.
The Briscoes defeated War Machine. Jay Lethal, Roderick Strong, and the Kingdom defeated Dalton Castle, Moose, and the Addiction 4-2 in a Champions versus All-Star Elimination Tag Team match.
Yeah, that's a traditional main event of the Glory by Honor shows is they'll do Champions versus All-Stars.
It's 45th birthday to Dale Christian Torborg.
Dale Torborg, the Demon, the Kiss Demon, as some WCW fans might remember him. He was, for a while, he wrestled as Dale Torborg, and he was like part of the WCW pit crew thing, and had this goofy fire suit on like he was a NASCAR driver. But his dad was actually Jeff Torborg was a famous baseball player and manager, and he was involved with TNA for a little while, I believe, but he ended up
05 to 07
being like a strength coach. I believe he's a strength coach and a hitting coach, or it was at some point with a Major League Baseball team, the White Sox, I want to say.
He did play in a league of their own with Tom Hanks.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that until now.
Tom Hanks was hilarious on Saturday Night Live.
Then we had one more birthday, Sapphire.
Oh, sweet Sapphire.
She would have been today she would have been 82.
Juanita Wright, I believe, is her real name.
Yes.
And, she was Dusty Rhodes' Sweet
Infamous.
Sapphire. Yeah.
That was his woman.
But, nobody will ever forget Sapphire.
That is very true, but it says here Torbor is married to Christy Wolf, who portrayed Asia in WCW.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which I didn't know that. See, that's what the point of these history things are. We learn stuff.
We learn stuff all the time.
Right.
So, on that note, when we come back from break, as soon as we get back from break, we're playing the promo of the week, which is my boy Eli Drake.
Dummy, yeah.
So, when we get back from break, get ready for the Eli Drake Facts of Life. You're listening to Hill and Faith, ScoreOnAir.com.
Thursdays from 4 to 6 p.m. It's the new generation of sports talk radio on The Score. Come tune in to Competitive Greatness, where we have the entire updated information trending. We laugh and debate on which players that are great. We're a bunch of biased people in one room, and you don't want to miss us. So tune in on YouTube. Type in Score on Air Live each and every Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. Call us up when you agree to disagree. 614-641-0674.
Get the most out of your money with the Oric XL Deluxe Hypoallergenic Upright Vacuum Cleaner. This state-of-the-art vacuum cleaner is exactly what you need to keep your home clean. With advanced technology, the Oric can reach dust and dirt in places you never imagined. As an extra perk, you won't need to buy bags ever again, as this amazing machine is self-cleaning. Let's face it, it can get frustrating going over the same spots over and over again due to spewing of dirt, dust, and allergens. Well, with Oric's 7 layers of filtration, this is the most powerful vacuum cleaner on the market. It can be yours now for just $399. For more info on how to make it yours, give us a call today at 1-800-ORIC-XL. That's 1-800-673-2595.
Come out and join us at Flavor 91 for their grand opening. Flavor 91 is located at 5186 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio. Flavor 91 is a burger bistro and offers such beverages as beer and wine. Again, the grand opening is September 15, 2016 at 1 p.m. 5186 East Main Street, Whitehall, Ohio. Join us at Flavor 91.
Are you someone who has always dreamed of a career in sports media? The Ohio Media School now offers a 6-month sports emphasis program to prepare you for a whole new career. Whether it's radio or television, play-by-play or production, the Ohio Media School has you covered. You will receive training from professionals that are actually in the industry. The Ohio Media School will get you where you need to be for a successful career in this exciting, expanding field. To schedule a visit, call 614-655-5250 or go to beonair.com. Stop dreaming about a career in sports and make it a reality at the Ohio Media School.
This is Bob McElligott, the radio voice of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and you're listening to the new generation of sports talk radio. ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Welcome back to the greatest television talk show of all time, Fact of Life. And I'm your host, Eli Drake. Lie down. And I got to tell you, I'm bound for gold, dummies. Dummy, yeah. Yeah. But you know, I can't help but notice, the last few weeks I've noticed that every time I come out here, I hear people chanting, Eli Drake, Eli Drake. And you know what that is? That's the undeniable Kavorka of Eli Drake. But don't get lost in the sauce. Just because a room full of 40-year-old virgin nerds says my name doesn't make you cool. What it makes you is,
Dummy. Yeah.
yeah. Just because I'm bound for gold, don't come jumping on me. But speaking of bound for gold, my guest tonight is now walking around with gold himself. Let's go ahead and bring him out, the Impact Grand Champion, Aaron Rexa.
Thank you, guys. Before I go any further, I have to ask, what do you guys think of the new Impact Grand Championship title, huh? Look at it. It took me a long time to get an opportunity to compete for a world title, to compete for a title. And I have to say that this means more to me than anything I could ever say. And every morning, I just can't stop staring at it. What it means to me, I love it. I love the opportunity that I have here, and I love what we are going to create here. We just set you down, sweetheart.
Sit down, dummy. You're definitely an interesting character. You definitely have different things to say. You do things a little differently, obviously, but I got to tell you, I didn't like when you first came in here.
Was it my new haircut?
You know what it was? You came in here, you were guns a-blazing, you said some stuff, I said some stuff. You kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I got to tell you, you're now walking around with gold. You did what you had to do to win it, and then you did what you had to do to keep it when you defeated Jesse Goddard. So I got to say, there ain't no shame in that game.
And you know what? I actually reluctantly have to agree with you. I mean, nobody likes a trash talker. Drew Galloway was one. I left him in my rearview mirror, and I called him inferior. You had Eddie Edwards, who's our new world champion. Give it up for Eddie. But I actually beat him for that title, which makes me the guy around here. And then as far as the Jesse Goddard situation is concerned, I'm going to actually dumb it down and speak New Jersey so he can understand me. Bro, please, are you serious?
Well, look, I can't argue with that.
Gotcha.
Look, you and I, we haven't seen eye to eye, and look, I'm not going to lather your keister like we're best friends here. But look, here's the thing. I got to tell you this. You mentioned names. You're now carrying around this title. There's a bunch of guys gunning for the heavyweight title. You mentioned Drew Galloway.
Dummy. Yeah.
You mentioned Eddie Edwards.
Dummy. Yeah.
Quiet down. And then another guy comes to mind. You got Bobby Lashley.
Dummy. Yeah.
But not one of them got a thing on the one guy. Don't worry, it's fine. Not one of them have a thing on the one man who's guaranteed to become the next heavyweight world champion, and that is the man who's bound for gold, and that is Eli Drake.
Where do you get one of those?
Special order, don't worry about it.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to flip the script here, and I know it's your show, but I'm going to ask you a question. Don't worry, you don't have to trade places. If you're bound for gold, where does that leave a guy like EC3?
EC3. Well, I tell you what, if I'm bound for gold, EC3 is bound for the toilet.
Dummy. Yeah.
EC3 is bound for the dumpster.
Dummy. Yeah.
Look up wasted potential in Webster's dictionary. You got EC3.
Dummy. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically what I'm telling you is I look at EC3 and I got to say, giant piece of trash, a man who will never be the world heavyweight champion.
Again, so help me God, Eli.
No. We're going to break. We're going to break. We can't have it. Go to break now. Go to break.
Get your hands.
Go to break. Go to break now. Go to break. Are we at break? Yeah, we at break.
And we're back. Real quick before we get into our AO learning moment, Aaron's got some breaking news over here for you.
Yes,
wrestling
as
heads.
we mentioned earlier, you might have caught it, mentioned an announcement of a company called Flow Sports intending on putting together a package of independent wrestling as streaming content. Well, news has come out with a lot more specific information on that deal. WWN Live has announced a 5-year partnership with Flow Sports to create Flow Slam, a streaming service that will include all of WWN Live's properties, Evolve, Shine, Full Impact Pro, and many others. The agreement takes effect November the 4th with live coverage of Shine 38, which is a all-women's promotion, and it also is promoting a live coverage of approximately 60 events. It will include archives from all of the WWN Live events dating back to 2003 and a series of original documentaries. Essentially, this is an upgrade of their existing streaming platform. It will not have any effect on Evolve's working relationship with WWE, and WWN will continue to produce their own shows. But the service is open for sign-up now, so check out flowslam.tv for information on how to register. It costs $20 a month or $150 for an entire year if you pay up front.
Then 2 quick things. Jericho has a new book coming out.
This is his 3rd or 4th?
4th. And it's going to be called No is a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
Then we also just got news that Carl Anderson will be going against Enzo Amore tonight on Monday Night Raw.
One-on-one for Raw, so that's something that we can look forward to as we've got only about an hour left before we get to Monday Night Raw for this week.
Yeah, by the time we get off here, it's time for pre-show.
It sure is.
So we're going to do what we do every show, pass it over to our producer for the special time of the show.
Hey, yo.
What did you learn today?
I learned that, I learned a few things in between, sleeping. Because I'm so tired. I'm so sorry, guys. I love you, but...
I'm exhausted, too. I had a long weekend.
Yeah.
All those PWA guys are nuts.
Yes, they are.
Being around them is, a task unto itself. No. Only kidding.
I'm excited that you guys went and that you've been telling me all the deets. I feel like I live vicariously through you.
At least somebody's getting something out of it.
TNA's getting a bunch of lawsuits filed against them.
At least half a dozen by now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Probably more to come.
Enzo and Cass against the Club in Hell in the Cell.
Yes.
Return of the Beast. I don't know where he went to return from.
But Saskatchewan, in fact, in Canada. Probably hunting wild game with his bare hands.
Canada, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a Lesnar sport. Billy Corrigan also has a lawsuit. Oh wait, no.
He's one of the people suing TNA.
Okay. The women are doing a world championship. For
Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, the Sasha Banks versus Charlotte, talking about maybe it being the last match on the show, which would be just more history to add on to the fact that this is the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match, and it's already getting such a high profile on the show to begin with.
Right on, right on. It is pretty high profile. That's awesome. I wrote down bragging rights. I went to the bathroom, so I missed the almost entire history. But I wrote down bragging rights and 32-man tournament.
Well, bragging rights was just a pay-per-view and a concept that
For
WWE
the brand split.
had several years ago. The first time they split into Raw and SmackDown as separate brands, they had like an elimination match to which show was cooler. The 32-man tournament deal was in November of '99 in WCW, and was one of the worst tournaments I've ever seen. I mean,
I can do better tournaments on WWE 2K17.
Yeah, it was just obnoxious, to be perfectly honest about it. But it was a tournament for the vacant WCW World title that ended up with the finals at the Mayhem pay-per-view in Toronto. First time WCW was in Canada for a pay-per-view, and the finals were Bret Hart and Chris Benoit, and Bret Hart won. 2K17.
2K17. Oh, you guys kept saying 2K. I was like, oh, I guess that's it. Okay, 2K17 is great presentation, has great presentation, a great roster, you said.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I've
what
only
we got into.
Only a couple of hours into it, but I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Yeah,
probably
that's
tonight
good.
after
It
Raw.
should leave you wanting more, right?
Absolutely.
That's like the
Best wrestling game
premise.
out there right now.
And then, of course, my husband, Finn Balor, is going to be back just for, like, an appearance, right?
Yeah, he's appearing.
He's not ready yet.
Rumors are still Royal Rumble.
They're thinking that he
Royal
might be able to come back a little bit earlier than expected. The target date is Royal Rumble. But once again, a reminder that, as we mentioned at the top of our show, Finn Balor make an appearance for Insane Championship Wrestling in Glasgow, Scotland on November the 20th, taking the place of Mick Foley, who was originally set for the event, but he's otherwise engaged that night at Survivor Series in Toronto.
He's married.
Yeah.
He's not just engaged.
To Eve Torres.
I'm not even going to say my name on the radio. Anyway,
No,
so
Eve Torres
yeah,
is married
so
to one of the Gracies.
He's going to
Yeah.
be coming back just in time for my birthday, so I really appreciate you, dear. And then, yeah, Vince is coming on Friday, and what's his name?
Mace Young.
Mace Young.
Mace Young is coming on Friday, and I'm really excited.
His friends call him Vince,
I
but
feel
the
like
people
I
that
haven't seen him.
owe him money call him Mace.
Right.
I feel like I haven't seen him in action, especially, so it'll be cool to see him.
Yeah, we
I'm
can't wait to have
excited.
him on the show.
Yeah,
Sorry to
that'll be
interrupt you there.
nice.
But
No, you're fine.
We cannot wait to have him on the show on Friday. Get his take on what went down over the weekend for PWA, what he's got coming up next. Maybe he can talk about some of his other experiences as he makes his way through the
Then
wrestling
talk
business
some
here.
Hell in the Cell with us.
And we can definitely talk to him about all the stuff going on in WWE.
Well, folks, that's this show. It goes by entirely too quick. I am the mayor of the Squared Circle alongside Aaron Hertz, Mean Mark Dudley, and Ayo. Have a great night. Watch a lot of wrestling, and we will talk to you guys Friday. You're listening to Heel and Face, ScoreOnAir.com.
You're listening to the home of heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping sports.
Broadcasting from Ohio Media School in the greatest city in the state.
In the greatest state in the country.
In the greatest country in the world.
You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com. You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com, the new generation of sports talk radio in Columbus. Online sports radio, WSOA ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Hey guys, Matty Ice here, proud alum of the Ohio Media School. Get the training you need to get a job you will love. The Ohio Media School has classes in radio, television, sports broadcasting, and film and video production. Visit BeOnAir.com today to get started. That's BeOnAir.com.
What's good, Big Game James?
How you feeling, D.O. Jr.?
My guy, I'm super excited. High school sports is starting back, man.
Man, I'm even more excited because we got this new show starting. Tell the people what we doing, D.O. Jr.
Man, we starting the Central Ohio High School Showcase, the COHSS.
That's right. We're covering football, basketball, baseball, soccer, volleyball, and track and field. If it's in season, we own it.
Hey, you know we do this for the kids, man. You can listen live by going to ScoreOnAir.com via the TuneIn app or watch us streaming live by going to the Score On Air YouTube channel,
The COHSS, giving you nothing less, showcasing Central Ohio's